another video. So, a few weeks back, I hosted a Wings of Fire contest like none I've directed before. A prophecy competition. It was up to you guys to work on your own spelling of dooms and futures for a Wings of Fire story of your choosing. And well, you delivered. Today, I had the honor of reading out my top 10 favorite entries in the contest, and I know they're going to blow you guys away just as much as they did me. But before we begin, a huge shout out to my patrons. Dragler95, Thistle, Noobto, Pyronuke, Avril, Pancake, Escarada, Adequin, Alex Cleaver, Shadow Hunter, 𝙒𝙗𝙗𝙁𝙗𝙗, Moonclaw, and Isaac. Thank you all so much for supporting me. Links to their social medias are in the description down below. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the video. Real quick, no matter how many times I said in the announcement video and the Google form to not use AI in any process of making your submission, I still received content that was blatantly done by ChatGPT. This person, whom I will graciously keep anonymous, literally left in part of the prompt. It is very obvious when work isn't human-made, so please just follow this rule in the future. It's not art and writing if a robot makes it for you, and it's honestly offensive to yourself, me, and Tui. But I do have 10 spectacular prophecies to share with you guys, and an honorable mention to begin with. As a reminder, I judge this project based on the words, structure, and tale of your prophecy alone. Art, graphics, and other details were entirely optional and weren't any part of the deciding process. But I did want to give a special shout out to Stellar J's entry, especially because of the awesome images they attached to it. The work this participant put into all the pages of their submission are just mind-blowing, so I wanted to share it with you guys. But now's the time to get into our wonderful top 10. Things will only get crazier as we go along here. Starting in 10th place, we have a prophecy that was created by two friends, Slink Kangaroo and Starry Skies. There was a lot of information they shared, so I can't talk about everything. But these two worked together to not only post the words of their entry, but also content for each of the books they tie into. They explained everything, and it's thought like this that really shows they went the extra mile. So, here's the prophecy at the head of it all. A memory forged in hollowed marsh, a memory stolen in magic's pyre, a memory beaten by rain and flora, a memory lost to a kingdom ever higher. No war to scatter and bond, no villain to unite and fight, discarded dragons with naught but wit to stop the curse, bring this memory back to light. Wow, this is really solid work. I'll link the Google document that contains all the info on their prophecy in the description, since there's too much to go over in just this video. But it's absolutely impressive, and I think you guys would really like learning more about this. Congratulations to these two winners. In 9th place, we have Twilight Dusk 14. They submitted the trial prophecy, one said by an unknown dragon. Courage is tested through tricks and trials. Alone or together, you'll see the door. Be warned of betrayals from friends or foes. Unlock the secrets of the shore. Save the dragons too kind for this world. Beware the one who lies. Beware the dragon with multiple faces. Save the ones with no wings to fly. The trials are tricky and won't let you through unless you have the strength of those before you. Ooh, I absolutely would love to learn more about this story. What are the tricks and trials the characters will have to face, and betrayals possibly on the way? Who's the one that can't fly? There's so much intrigue here, and the rhymes were all written really well. That big league of mystery is what had me captivated the most, and I'd totally read a story or arc about this plot. Truly great work. I really adore this. Flying into 8th place, we have The Prophecy of the Drowned Divide by 𝙒𝙀𝙀. Here's what it says. Keep your secrets locked in flame. Keep your silence none to name. Keep your heart though torn by fate, or doom shall come too late. Beware the bay of talons wide, where truths and traitors both may hide. A secret that seeks under the water must be told, or both continents shall be flooded into underwater cold. This is definitely an ominous one, and I'm scared for the dragons who have to face that flood. Yikes. The author added that this prophecy takes place over 50 years after the events of the Flames of Hope, and will center on a protagonist from a fan tribe known as the FanWings. I'm on the edge of my seat thinking about what'll happen to her and everyone else that has to deal with this big of a threat. You did a phenomenal job crafting the intro to the book, and I can totally see it as something right out of WAF. In 7th, there's Autumn Heart. They worked on the Sun and Moon prophecy. When lies wear scales of darkest black, the queens fall dead with no trail back. A web will tear, the skies will scream, one will awaken the silent dream. A promise once broken, forged anew, will rise with fire no soul can rue. She speaks of peace but drips with lies, 1,000 wings will heed her cries. One born of hives and poisoned light shall not believe the shadowed veil in night. The sun sees the cracks beneath the throne, and dares to stand against her own. When stars refuse the blazing sun, and choose the moon as their only one, blood will fall like pouring rain, and only sun shall break the chain. Wow, this one totally had me shocked. The vivid descriptions of the described character and event are totally captivating and even chilling. I wouldn't want to be one of the POV dragons of this arc. The whole sun and moon concept is incredibly interesting as well, and your hard work totally paid off with this creation. It's so well written with the execution, and your ideas are flawless. I had to include it in here. Arriving in 6th place, there's Prism Paws Studios' submission. They made the Sun Prophecy, which reads as follows. Retrieve the force that lies beneath, retrieve the force that kept the peace. The relic shall help you on your way, as the red sun is 2 weeks from this day. But beware the danger that lies ahead, be sure as the legend said. When the red sun returns, everything dies and everything burns. Ooh, this is just sick! The moment I read this, I knew I had to include it in the final results video. The whole idea of there being this terrifying red sun, it leads the way for a ton of paths, and it's super creative. This prophecy foretells the return of a hybrid dragon from 2 fan tribes, and his dangerous mission. To end this character's anger, whoever hears the words I read to you must bring back a tribe lost to time. Man, the stakes here sure are high, and you delivered with such an ominous prophecy. Astronomical. And now it's time for our legendary top 5. Honey the Hivewing submitted this extraordinary piece. Half of hive and half of night, hatched by moons all burning bright. Pawn of fate controls the board, reap they chaos or reward. Friend or foe, what shall they be? Wings of sea shall be the key. Will darkest night devour all, or will the hives survive the fall? Hivemind, the night hive involved in this story, has to deal with destiny and the potential falling of his own home. Could the prince-seeming animus he's meant to befriend bring about any change? Or will it cause the events of the story to unfold even quicker? Really good and stunning work on crafting the ultimate drama and tension with this prophecy. It couldn't be better. In 4th, there's Maya in the Vengeance Prophecy. Cloud of mist, cloud of wings, beware the stranger who walks unseen. Eyes of silver, claws of gold, beware the prince with lies untold. For 11 nights and 11 days the storm will burn and rage. For vengeance and power lies the queen across the sea. Until the darkest hour, no dragon will be free. The great-granddaughter of Moonwatcher is the one who gave these words, but she's not having life easy with a powerful enemy in the way. I adore how simple yet telling this whole prophecy is. You did a super great job delivering an entry that draws in the reader or listener's attention instantly, and points the way for an even bigger story to unfold. Love this. And now, it's time for the top 3. Starry Dragon sent in the Glassfire Prophecy. When frost and tide and shadow blend, a dragon born of 3 shall bend. Her chains of glass, her eyes of flame, will bring the world to peace or shame. The northern crown may fall to frost, unless the flame counts all it's lost. A single choice shall split the skies, and truth will hide in the darkest lies. Marrow, the Night Ice prophet who gave this, was rejected by both his tribes. But when he experienced such a strong vision about the future of the continent, everything changed. There's so much awesome info for this one, and I truly love the nature of the prophecy. You're a very talented writer, which is so evident throughout all your word choices and dramatization. Excellent job. In second place, there's Ida. A sea-night hybrid spoke the song of the shattered glass prophecy. When shadows whisper to the skies, and truth is masked by painted lies, a flame will spark where none should burn, the tide will shift and scales will turn. From broken glass a path is made by those who trust yet feel betrayed. Seek the song beneath the stone, or face the end and stand alone. Skies, painted lies? Oh yes, your word choices are so impactful throughout this entry. The stakes are high and the choices are important, which is clearly evident. It takes a special kind of skill to write up something so important and impactful, but you've done it for sure. The shifting of tides and scales is sure to not be a good change for these characters. Standing alone is also an interesting concept, and I'd be up for hearing more about what this story entails. Impressive, wonderful work. And last, but certainly not least, there's Jellybean Dragon in the Prophecy of 1,000 Moons. Already loving that title. When the two continents tremble with fear, and the light of the 3 moons is no longer clear, a dragon of stars and of silk shall take flight, to challenge the shadows and bring back the light. The one they call the Star Weaver, with the future foretold, with a spirit of silver and a heart of pure gold, is destined to search for the 3 who will stand, and bring a new dawn to a desperate land. One from the mountains with fury and might, one from the sea with a deep glowing light, and one from the jungle who hears the leaves speak, a power the forces of darkness will seek. Together they'll fly to a land far away, to face the great evil and save the new day. For should the 1,000 moons fade from a force of evil in their base, it will spell the end of the entire dragon race. The Silk Knight hybrid mentioned in this foretelling of the future named it Star Weaver. They have to find a Skywing, Seawing, and Leafwing and travel to a faraway land to stop the very moons from disappearing. Jellybean Dragon even included some art of the designs here, which are purely fabulous. I would seriously read a whole arc about these adventures, because the topic, those protagonists, the meter and rhyme of the prophecy, oh, you have me hooked. Please work on something with this, because you have gold here. See? I wasn't lying when I said you guys knocked out of the park with this. Your storytelling abilities and poem crafting to wind up some show-stopping prophecies is Tui level. Keep creating, because I want to see more from the stories these front. Congratulations to our top 10, and thank you to everybody who submitted an entry. I thoroughly enjoyed my time reading through each of them. Your creativity is boundless. What did you guys think? Which of these prophecies was your favorite, and have you ever made one of your own? Let me know down below. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.